Good morning. Okay, so today's DT is from Psalm 40. Psalm 40 is such an interesting psalm because actually it's filled with very contrasting language and contrasting pictures of praise and worship, and then deep sense of miry bog and self-awareness about his sin. So let's go ahead and take a look at these pictures. Words like rejoice, there's this, that it's like a command to rejoice and be glad, all of you, may those who love your salvation say continue, great is the Lord, an exclamation. And then there is this, at the same breath, he says, as for me, I am poor and needy, right? So there's this contrasting, like he holds it in the same mind at the same time, right? So then in the same breath he's saying this. So what is the reason for King David's joy? This is King David's psalm after all. So it's the reason is said right in the beginning. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. So this waiting patiently is not actually passivity. There is this cry here, but then the joy is he inclined to me and heard my cry, and he drew me up from the pit of destruction, out of miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. So what is this hearing my cry and drew me out of destruction? What is this pit of destruction he's talking about? Well, he's talking about God forgiving him from the destruction that sin brings. If it wasn't clear from this verse 12 makes it very clear. It says, for evils have encompassed me beyond number, my iniquities have overtaken me, and I cannot say they are more than the hairs of my head. My heart fails me. So this is what he's talking about, right? In the Bible, this description of sin is really true to life, actually. We choose to sin. We are the perpetrators of sin. No doubt about that. But at the same time, man, these evils have encompassed me beyond number, and it turns out it's my iniquities have overtaken me. The sin, the evils that I perpetrate actually become the perpetrator to victimize me. It overtakes you, and you become the victim of evil, and you get stuck in this miry bog. And I think we need to actually understand those two dualities and understand that, we are sinners. We are the one who perpetrates sin, so then we are responsible. But at the same time, God is very compassionate toward us and compassionate and actually very realistic that sin does overtake us and controls us, and we end up crying out for help, and hopefully we can get to that as well. But that state of being able to cry out for help, so we cry out, and when you cry out, God hears that cry and he delivers, right? He sets your feet upon a rock, solid rock. That this picture and this imagery of a miry bog, trying to get out of a pit of mud. Right? There's a pit of destruction. I imagine it's not simply like a shallow mud you're walking through. I imagine of it like a quicksand kind of situation. I don't know if you've ever been in that kind of a situation, like a deep mud before. I haven't. Well, the deepest mud was sort of like shins, like slightly above my ankle. And it's very unpleasant, actually. Not because it's just dirty, but it starts to press in on you. It actually seems to hold you way more than like snow does, Imagine like trying to walk in knee-deep snow, except it's miry bog. That muddy thing is not beautiful at all. Snow, and it's like 10 times heavier. And it starts to cut off your circulation. Man, what a description of sin, And then to put your feet on a rock where your steps are secure. That feel, like I feel that way very minutely when after hour of ice skating, finally I could take off my ice skates and I can walk on regular ground, and it just like feels great. Maybe it's like that's kind of silly to compare this to miry bog, but man, that sense of relief. I can walk again. I can actually move forward again and go in this direction again, What a description of forgiveness. And that's what we experience when God forgives us. And therefore, He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. And that's the exclamation, right? A new song. I just kind of thought about new song, like what songs, my daughters really love certain songs. And, if you think about the world's songs, there are many songs that the world sings. And I thought, it's kind of interesting. Like, the secular songs are mostly songs of sadness or songs of anger. Are there really songs of joy? I couldn't really think of that many. Because, joy sort of feels shallow, I guess, right? Yay, let's be like children's songs, I guess, kind of like joy songs, but it feels escapist, I guess, in the midst of our such brokenness in our world that the artists actually recognize. But Christian joy is actually a Christian joy is a joy that acknowledges our brokenness and the fact that we're overwhelmed by evil and recognize our iniquities. It really recognizes that. But in the midst of that, or maybe because of that, we experience God's amazing forgiveness. He delivered me. He gave me a new start. He put my feet on a solid rock. So because he gave us a new start, I can have a new song. A song of praise to our God. And I hope that we can all experience that new song in our hearts, recognizing God has forgiven me and delivered me. So yeah, that's what this psalm is about, and I hope that we can kind of emulate our heart's path and our heart's our emotional pathways can start to be shaped by psalms like these. All right. Okay, so that's it. Have a good day. Bye.